Hi, I'm Queen Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah. The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high-quality, and greatly satisfied service, the Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
It used to be hard for this family to run and play in their yard. That big pooch left its business all over. Dad would spend his time cleaning up puppy messes. Now, I make sure the yard is clean so they can play without worry. Yes, there really is a poop fairy.
Do you have questions about buying or selling a home, not sure if you qualify? Your local real estate agent, Antoinette Ware, is here for you. Do you live out of town, moving out of town, or looking for investment property? Well, let's work together and make it happen. Antoinette Ware can be reached at 419-917-6258. The name you know, celebrating over 20 years, serving Toledo and surrounding areas.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim, and thank you for dropping in on another Wednesday and spending some time on Tim's Tidbits. I really appreciate that. You know, there's all kinds of things going on around the world, and it's amazing that we aren't all going freaking crazy. But at least on this program, we try to sit down and discuss some of it rationally, get some viewpoints. Tell me what you think. You're more than welcome to drop your comments, your questions into the chat conversations, and let's talk about some things. Anyhow, hey, let's get into tonight's show. And I thought it kind of interesting the last weekend. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was down in Florida, Mar-a-Lago, as a matter of fact, talking to President Trump. And coming out with obviously anytime you have, Trump involved, you got to have some type of press coverage. So naturally, yeah, they did have some press coverage, and they got in front and they spewed a couple of things, and mostly lies or maybe some fabrications of the truth. Anyhow, hey man, you got to check it out. Take a look at this, and let's get back to it.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson, two men who fought to overturn the 2020 election, called a press conference today to argue non-citizens should not be able to vote, despite the fact it's already illegal.
The House Republicans are introducing a bill that will require proof of citizenship to vote. It seems like common sense.
The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996 explicitly bans non-citizen voting in federal elections. Yet Trump and his allies have falsely claimed non-citizens constantly vote in elections. The nonpartisan Brennan Center, which tracks voting issues, says examples of non-citizens voting are extremely rare. For the embattled speaker, today's pilgrimage to Mar-a-Lago was a chance to get a needed boost from the former president, as some Trump allies say Johnson is failing.
I explained all the reasons why he failed as our speaker.
In recent weeks, Johnson has seen his grip on the gavel loosened as he has stumbled to find votes on surveillance legislation and funding for Ukraine. And his work on some bipartisan measures has sparked talk of a possible coup.
I think he's doing a very good job. He's doing about as good as you're going to do.
For Trump, the visit underscored his immense influence over the party, despite his legal issues, much like when then Speaker Kevin McCarthy came to Mar-a-Lago 3 years ago in the wake of the Capitol attack.
Yeah. So anyhow, hey, interesting, huh? You know, there's the things you're gonna hear, things you're gonna see. That these guys say, yeah, I mean, there's no way that, you're going to let somebody that is not a citizen of the United States vote. But that just seems to be a platform and a innuendo there that, misinformation that they like to, spread around. Hey, you've got these people that are crossing our border. Some of them are, rapists, killers, murderers. And it was interesting, they also, down there in Mar-a-Lago, when they was meeting, one of the other things that they brought up happened to be that a lot of these people coming across our border are Venezuelan. And as a matter of fact, in Venezuela, they said that the violent crime rate has went down 85% since Biden has taken office and opened up the borders. But again, not true. I looked that part up, and it's like 20-some%. It has went down. Not 85%, but 20-some odd percent. So they have down in Venezuela seen a decrease in violent crime. Could some of that be attributed to our border and what's going on down in Arizona, Texas, California? But I don't think it's quite as the numbers are quite that they skew and have us want to believe on the left and or the right. So, I mean, it'd be nice if we could actually get factual data and really know the truth. There you go. Anyhow, hey, one other thing I wanted to share is, let's see what happened this week in the Trump scandal, whatever you want to call it. Hey, check this out.
Just moments before the start of Donald Trump's first of 4 criminal trials with jury selection in New York, he took to Truth Social and just absolutely losing.
Truth Central.
Trump spending the morning, maybe as he was en route to the courthouse, posting tirade after tirade, starting with, quote, as virtually every legal scholar has powerfully stated, the Biden Manhattan witch hunt case is, among other things, barred by the statute of limitations. This trial should be ended by the highly conflicted presiding judge. Remember, no evidence the judge is conflicted and no evidence that Joe Biden is in any way involved. But that's what Trump is insisting. Trump continuing. The radical left Democrats are already cheating on the 2024 presidential election by bringing or helping to bring all of these bogus lawsuits against me, thereby forcing me to sit in courthouses and spend money that could be used for campaigning instead of being out in the field knocking crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, election interference. Trump continuing, why didn't they bring this totally discredited lawsuit 7 years ago? Election interference. And then lastly, Trump says, I want my voice back. This crooked judge has gagged me. Unconstitutional. The other side can talk about me, but I am not allowed to talk about them. Rigged trial. Remember, of course, that the gag orders against Trump have not been particularly effective. since he continues to regularly post articles and messages attacking the judge's daughter and attacking key witnesses and going after other people. But he's always the victim. It's election interference. No evidence of that. Biden's doing this. No evidence of that. It should be illegal to even do this to Trump. Doesn't seem to coincide with the law.
Oh, yeah, hey, it all depends on what side of the fence you're on. If you're on Donald's side of the fence or if you're on the legal, proper side of the fence, yeah. Quite amazing individual. Yeah, I know that in his civil case, with his payoff, there's the other reason he needs this money is, the hush money trial case. I think they finally got like 7 jurors that they've actually got seated that, may be half-ass impartial or, think they can be. I couldn't imagine. And the same thing is, they, as discussed in a little clip there about how he just doesn't care about gag orders and he threatens the judge's family, his clerk's family. It'd be interesting to be, a juror, and sit there, and if he didn't like the way you was looking during different information, or as if he's found guilty, or who knows what could peeve him off, and you don't think that he's gonna have teeth out for you. Come on, the guy's so vengeful, it's absolutely insane. So yeah, man. But yeah, 7 so far. We'll see what happens with his Stormy Daniels payoff case, and then still, I think, he has, the issues with, falsification of his taxes, inflating things. So, well, there you go. It's right along with everything else that Don does, as, he just can't tell a straight story, Yeah, it's insane. Everything has to be so inflated, and, I guess that's just the gentleman's personality, so... is what it is, what it is. But speaking of, speaking of, what Donald was complaining about, you've stifled my right to freedom of speech because I can't threaten the jurors. I can't threaten the judge and his family, that kind of stuff. We had all kinds of protests over the weekend, just with what's going on in the Middle East, what is Israel's going on, and you still have some pro-Palestinian supporters within the United States. And boy, over the weekend did they ever make their voice heard. So hey, check us out, and hey, come right back.
All right, we begin the first hour of Fox and Friends with this. This is unbelievable. Anti-Israeli protesters find the Hezbollah flag in front of the New York Stock Exchange. Yes, the terroristic flag located in Lebanon. They're chanting also "Death to America" in a few languages while marching through the streets of various cities in America.
Protesters jamming up traffic for hours on the Brooklyn Bridge, some even burning the American flag. Look at that.
Meanwhile, on the other coast in San Francisco, 38 activists were arrested after shutting down the Golden Gate Bridge for almost 5 hours. Another group blocked several sections of the freeway around the Bay Area, brought the city to a grind.
And in Chicago, travelers heading to O'Hare International Airport were forced to drag their luggage down the highway after protesters completely blocked access to main terminal. 54 people were arrested there.
Well, all right, interesting, you have people that are going to have various viewpoints, but them, interfering with traffic and stuff, they knew they was going to get hauled off because, there's going to be some type of a city ordinance, state statute, local statute that you're going to violate by doing that kind of shit, and they're going to be able to put you in jail for stifling, traffic flow or not listening to an officer, who knows what. But anyhow, you got to be prepared to go to jail. But, I found it kind of interesting also that in USC, as a matter of fact, and I heard this over the weekend, their valedictorian, they're not going to allow their valedictorian to give the typical, typical valedictorian speech because she happens to be pro-Palestinian. And they had fears, could be warranted, not warranted, that, she could attract, trouble. So they canceled her out. She's not happy about it. You'll see her going on social media. I'm trying to think, what's her name? I don't have it available right this moment, but check it out. Look at USC student valedictorian speech canceled. I mean, and it's interesting, would she incite issues? Maybe. Would she not incite issues? Half the problem is, probably the only people that ever would have known had it not been for the media, the mainstream media, and that's all y'all. I don't care, what side you're on, covered a particular topic and generating interest and or generating resentment. It's on you. So you cover it, people are going to talk about it, but it's really a damn shame, that this happens to that girl. But anyhow, speaking of a damn shame of, what's going on is, again, there was some, those missing mothers. I believe that was in Kansas, that went missing not too long ago. And they finally did recover the bodies that they think. Anyhow, the Oklahoma mothers, I'm sorry. And because the story kind of goes all over the place. Check out the video and you'll follow what I'm saying. But anyhow, hey, hearts and prayers go out to the family on this.
Police in Oklahoma recovered 2 bodies in a rural part of the state amid an intensifying search for 2 Kansas moms who've been missing for weeks.
4 people were arrested and charged with murder on Saturday in connection with the women's disappearance. NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra joins us now with the very latest. So, Marissa, tell us what you know about these 4 people who were arrested and charged and what their personal connection may be to the victims.
Hey guys, so that press conference with all the latest from authorities wrapped up not that long ago. So authorities wouldn't speak directly about the relationships between the 4 people arrested and the 2 missing women. But what we have learned from our affiliate KOFR is that one of the women arrested is the grandmother of Veronica Butler's children, and at least 2 of the suspects arrested were known to her. You can see those 4 people arrested on your screen there. We also know through court documents that Butler and her children's father have been in a custody battle. The 4 people charged have been charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. And authorities said this morning that all 4 arrests were made without incident. Authorities said they feel confident that those 4 people were responsible for these 2 women going missing. They said they currently have no other suspects.
Marissa, where exactly were those bodies discovered? And when do we expect police to actually release information about the specific identities?
Right. So all of this happening between Kansas and Oklahoma. So the 2 women from Kansas, their car discovered in Oklahoma. Those 2 bodies, of course, on everyone's mind, everyone's wondering, can we confirm definitively that those identities belong to these 2 women? And authorities said that that's just going to take time. It's going to take time to even determine the cause and manner of death as well. And we know, obviously, the family and the people who love these women searching for that definitive proof or wanting to get some sort of closure here. But I will say something that was very telling from this press conference is when authorities were asked if there was any chance that these 2 women would still be alive, could still be alive, authorities definitively said no.
Yep, that's just a darn shame. They probably have not confirmed it. They may have out there. I haven't had a chance to even glance at the news. And they may have confirmed, but my guess is they made that bold statement of probably not going to be found based upon the clothes that or articles that the bodies that they did recover had on them or with them. So, yeah, again, hearts and prayers are going out to the family and friends even that'll be affected by that. That's just a damn shame, and grandma's involved. So, be interesting when that'll probably be a good made-for-TV movie. That craziness. Well, I hope that, again, as I always talk about, and the Queen Queen Sylvia always talks about. One thing we say, hey, faith over fear. That fear is going to make you get aggressive. That fear is going to make you do a whole lot of crazy things, do things that you necessarily wouldn't do if you were in a calmer state of mind. So, hey, get yourself together, man. Anyhow, hey, speaking of get yourself together, on the past couple of shows, I've showed some things where the mailbox are, the blue mailboxes, these guys, the mail deliverers, rather, are getting, assaulted, and they're taking the mail, and they're taking their keys, excuse me, and now you got to see the video that they put out. This is in regards to, can you even go to the old-fashioned blue mailbox and trust it anymore? Well,
there's a call tonight for people to stop using those iconic blue Postal Service mailboxes in St. Louis. Fox 2's Andy Banker has new evidence of the reason for that. People stealing mail from the boxes again and again.
We're at Euclid and Laclede. It was a couple of Saturdays ago, shortly before 5 o'clock in the morning. A surveillance camera caught a man stealing from this old blue mailbox back here. He actually had a key. And authorities say he was just getting started. Police may never have discovered the crimes, but for something you'll notice in this video, the suspect having trouble with the mailbox access panel, using his foot to try to force it to stay closed.
We got alerted by a business owner that saw one of the mailboxes, the bottom access panel, not closed all the way. And so he looked at his business cameras.
The Central West End's neighborhood security team then checked its surveillance cameras too and found the same suspect stealing from at least 1, 2, 3, 4 more neighborhood mailboxes. Authorities say thieves have been targeting letter carriers for their mailbox keys nationwide. Efforts to replace the locks have not kept pace with the crime. For instance, we've shown you this theft at Maryland and Euclid in December. The same box with the same old lock was among those just hit, and so was the mailbox Patty Hayes uses. She says her bank recently notified her someone tried to cash a check she had written, changing the amount from $200 to $2,000.
I mailed it right here. I hated it, and I'm not surprised because I have heard about that. But when I had a check that was intercepted, now I know that that's real.
People, I think, are most upset about that. This sacred institution that we know as the post office has become so vulnerable.
He's now telling residents to stop using the blue boxes altogether. He's asking the Postal Service to either remove or cover and seal them. The Postal Service has rolled out more than 10,000 new high-security blue boxes and is replacing nearly 50,000 antiquated locks with new electronic ones. But officials cannot tell us whether any of them have made it to St. Louis yet. Andy Banker, Fox 2 News.
That's craziness. Don't trust your mailbox. Yeah, it used to be nice to be able to stroll down the corner to the old blue mailbox and drop in your utility bill checks. But that's not safe anymore. Don't ever mail a check. Geez, these guys will grab them and swipe them and wash them and clean out your account. I mean, yeah, unbelievable. You feel sorry for, people that don't have a immediate access to a local post office, as a matter of fact, and even where we live, in a lot of the suburban towns and or villages, they have issues keeping a post office running. And so they try to centralize as much as possible. As a matter of fact, living here in Toledo, Ohio, any mail that comes to us in Toledo goes into Detroit for whatever odd reason. So, yeah, if you mail something in Toledo, it's going to be routed through Detroit and then back to you. It's insanity how they operate. And they could be done a lot more efficiently, then maybe the Postal Service wouldn't be continuously raising the money just to send a particular postcard. I don't even know how much it costs anymore. What, almost $1? Who knows? Anyhow, speaking of, happier things, Caitlin Clark, her team came close to winning the national championships. But anyhow, she had a hell of a career playing ball. And So she did get drafted number one. Indianapolis, I believe, picked her up. But there's a lot of buzz about her contract and salary. So check it out.
Caitlin Clark just got drafted first overall last night by the Indiana Fever, which I don't think was a surprise to anyone. In my opinion, she is without a doubt the best woman to play college basketball ever. People are going crazy on the internet after finding out how much she will make in the WNBA. Her first season, she will be making $76,000, with a total of $340,000 over 4 years. Obviously, it seems pretty low when you compare it to anyone in the NBA at all, but this rookie contract has been the same for a while. After she got drafted, she was asked if she thinks anything will change from going to NIL deals with sponsorships to a WNBA contract. This is what she had to say.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like it doesn't change a ton from how I lived my life over the course of the last year. Sponsorships stay the same. The people around me, agents and whatnot, have been able to help me and guide me through the course of the last year. College, I always said, my main focus is on basketball, and I don't have to do school anymore. That's pretty exciting. I do have to get my degree.
I think that her response was perfect. She has said since day one that all she cared about was playing in the WNBA. Even with the contract being super low, she will be banking in a ton of sponsorships and brand deals. I don't think she should be worried at all. What do you guys think of the situation? Let me know down below. Hope you enjoyed the video.
So, what do you think? That's not money to sneeze at. $76,000 a year. However, you could make that as a manager of a local fast food chain. So, work your way on up, and you could make that kind of money. But she possesses a certain talent, I think, and she has the ability to pull a certain gate into Indianapolis that they haven't seen before. And yes, she does have some endorsement deals. I'm not sure with what companies or what footwear company, but she'll have other income. She'll have a side hustle going on, so to speak. But 76K is kind of low for that kind of talent. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of years when she has to renegotiate that contract. I imagine it's probably going to go 3-4 times what they're paying now. The men make a ton of money. Yes, the argument is that they draw a lot more gate, but they're franchised a little bit better, and that may be true. The women's swag or merch is not out there as much as the men's. So a lot of that is true, but still, I think she may be a game changer. We'll see what happens, and I wish Caitlin all the luck in the world. So anyhow, one other thing I came across, and I'm like, and this one shocked me, folks. I was tripping out. I was in Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office, and they talk about, and you people that live on the West Coast can call me, like, how did you not know this shit was going on? But apparently they got gangs within the sheriff's office. You say gangs within the sheriff's office. Check it out.
There's a different kind of gang problem in Los Angeles County. The people meant to serve and protect a population of more than 9 million people, allegedly part of powerful gangs going back decades, according to watchdog groups and the alleged victims of their crimes. Groups of LA sheriff deputies with threatening names like the Banditos, the Cavemen, the Executioners. The deputies rep their cliques, tattooing their bodies with logos and throwing up gang signs. The gangs facing allegations they use violent excessive force against Angelenos.
To me, they're punks. The people that killed my sons, that executed my sons.
And intimidate fellow deputies who don't play along.
Leave dead rats in front of people's homes.
The terrorizing behavior costing the LA County taxpayers a fortune. The Inspector General's office counts $54 million in settlements involving deputy gang activity. The first obstacle to eradicating them, though, many past sheriffs dispute their very existence.
Well, you're still trying to pretend the deputy gang exists and work in the countryside, pillaging, plundering.
The investigation continues.
But the current sheriff, Robert Luna, who took office in late 2022, went public with his efforts to combat the problem.
We must eliminate deputy gangs.
A city and state approved civilian oversight commission released a 70-page report last year on how the sheriff's office should crack down on them. The commission's special counsel telling us they turned over a list of more than 20 recommendations. But so far, members of that oversight board, as well as attorneys for the victims, say Sheriff Luna hasn't put a stop to the gangs like he promised.
You say to yourself, wow, that's crazy. How does that happen? But then again, I mean, I look back to when I was in public service. I was in public service back in a few years ago, and in a command supervisory type of position, and knowing that sometimes you have some employees who are violating certain rules, regulations, or, they may be acting unethically or immorally wrong, right? And you try to take an action against those individuals, and you hit a wall because you get a union involved. And I think that's what they're probably running into, in a huge organization like Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office. You probably have a union. It'd be interesting if people are interested in to look it up in that regards about, exactly what kind of a slush fund this union over here, may have, protecting its officers if they have such a hard time getting rid of people who have, and they threw down a number, $54 million in various settlements, related to some of these people that they know are, gang affiliated within their department. It's crazy. And to protect and serve. Right, folks? Anyhow, speaking of craziness, this happened, and apparently a truck driver went in to try to get his CDL. I don't know if it was reinstated or just tried to pass his CDL, but apparently it didn't go too well or something happened. Check this out.
Stolen vehicle that crashed into the DBS office.
Tense moments tonight after 42-year-old Clenard Parker of Chapel Hill, Texas, allegedly rammed this 18-wheeler into the Department of Public Safety building in Brenham, Texas, leaving a gaping hole. He was arrested at the scene.
He had stolen an 18-wheeler earlier. He was being chased by a deputy, and then he ran into our building. We have several people that were injured, and one is deceased at this time.
The truck was carrying a heavy load of rebar, steel reinforcement, when police say Parker slammed it into the building where various licensing services are provided. Authorities say he had been there the previous day.
Parker did come to the DPS Brenham office yesterday at approximately 3 or 4 p.m., where he was denied his commercial driver license.
The mayor said it could have been even worse had Parker not been pulled out of the driver's seat and put in handcuffs by law enforcement.
Had it not been for their quick action, as you can see across the street, the suspect was backing the vehicle up and with the intent of going into it again.
Tonight, the state's Texas Rangers have launched a criminal investigation.
What we've seen today was an act of violence. We will prosecute this person to the full extent of the law because this will not be tolerated.
And the suspect is facing multiple felony offenses, including serious bodily injury. He's being held at the Washington County Jail tonight without bond.
What a freaking idiot. All because you didn't get your CDL or however. And who knows what the circumstances. But I mean, those are the kind of things that probably, and I don't know. I would speculate that like any other type of driver's license, if you fail it, you have like a little 2-week, 30-day cool down period. You get to come in and retry, something like that, I believe. That's how I always kind of thought it worked. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Anyhow, that guy is not going to get any driver's license anytime soon now. So, and I can't believe that, that's a big truck and he was carrying rebarb. So that's also dangerous. Could you imagine? I've seen Yeah, I've seen enough, horror movies about, some crazy guy hauling rebarb that, geez, that's frightening as it gets. That's crazy. Anyhow, hey, let me get into one of the parts that I always enjoy showing up. And this one I don't necessarily enjoy, showing you. But I mean, there is just no doubt about it that when you have a asshole like this, this guy seriously deserves it. And I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to go ahead and listen to the clip, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back. New developments in the case of a father convicted of trying to murder his newborn daughter. He told police he put antifreeze in the child's milk because he did not want to pay child support. A judge sentenced that father to 50 years in prison. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez is live in South Fulton, where she spoke to the lead detective in this case exclusively today. Taisha, this was a tough case for investigators, and I know for you as well to cover today.
It was tough for everybody. You know, many of the investigators, Karen, are parents themselves. You know, I'm a parent myself, so everyone has just been disgusted by this father's actions, especially because he appeared to have some remorse, confessed to police, but then took it back. Today, I had the privilege to talk to the child's mother. She's not ready to talk about the conviction just yet, but she did tell me the child is doing okay. Detectives were so confused by the motive in this case because they said the father had a good paying job and the mother does too. I also want to mention this. Police say Curtis Jack was engaged to another woman at the time all this was happening, so that may have played a role in this attempted murder. We're live in the city of South Fulton. Taisha Fernandez, Channel 2 Action News.
Now, if that doesn't qualify for asshole of the week, month, year, trying to poison the baby because you don't want to pay child support for your baby. That's the whole logic. Hey, we've said it a couple of times throughout the show. It's hard to understand some people's logic of, how they believe that their, behavior and or their conduct is appropriate because of their brain not being on straight or some shit. I don't know. As a society, we have to help them figure that shit out. Again, hey. Anyhow, let's go to another one that, and I don't blame the pilots. Actually, let me get to another one. Is another part that I like is, hey, dude, what? Oh, really? What the fuck? We have American Airlines pilots that are just not happy with the situation when it comes to the maintenance and or safety of their particular airlines that they're flying out there. So, hey, let's check this out and be right back.
The pilots union at American Airlines reports a significant spike in safety and maintenance-related problems at that carrier, and it's telling pilots to be vigilant. The union's concerns are spelled out in a memo obtained by CBS News, and as Chris Van Cleve reports, the nation's airlines are already under growing pressure on safety.
An American Airlines 777 being pushed back from the gate in Miami essentially was backed into another plane last month, a type of incident among a host of concerns Americans Pilots Union brought to company executives.
We're seeing the walls of the safety margin get squeezed in.
Union spokesman Captain Dennis Tazier.
So we're telling our pilots, slow down, take your time, and watch for these potential errors because they're starting to increase across the system.
In a memo to its 16,000 pilots, the union listed a series of problematic trends, including tools left in wheel wells, like this hammer. The Allied Pilots Association says it was found last month before a flight left Phoenix for Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The union says maintenance discovered other tools inside the wheel well and noted there were no open maintenance actions at the time of discovery. Also of concern, APA says, an increasing number of collisions between aircraft being tugged or towed and pressure to return aircraft to service.
If these allegations are true, then they certainly need to be investigated and resolved.
The memo comes as competitor United is undergoing an FAA audit after a series of concerning incidents this year. In a statement, American says our robust safety program is guided by our industry-leading safety management system. It includes a multitude of collaborative programs and regular touchpoints with the FAA and all of our unions to further bolster our strong safety record. For CBS Mornings, I'm Chris Van Cleve in Las Vegas.
Your safety record, yeah, you're okay. Anyhow, hey, you know, it's bad when your pilots don't even feel safe flying the plane you're on. You know, they've had all kinds of things going on, so hey, there's another thing that, you know, we out here as concerned citizens can express to the people that represent us, city, state, local, federal government, you know, people. Let them know that, yeah, I don't really feel safe flying on a plane that, you know, some false door is or false panels is going to come flying off because somebody forgot to put screws in, and or, you know, because the guy in the tug was a little bit too much in a hurry or who knows what he had going on and crashed my jet into the jet next to me. I mean, my God, you know, we've seen a lot of near misses. Maybe everybody's getting fatigued. Maybe everybody's getting careless. Maybe everybody doesn't give a shit anymore. I don't know, but please, people, let's try to get it together, okay? Let's keep this world safe. Keep ourselves safe. Keep our people educated, and, you know, be aware of what's going on around us, you know, and know that, yeah, there's good and there's bad all over the place, so keep that one in mind. And until next week, man, I appreciate again you tuning on in, and thank you for visiting and spending a Wednesday with me on Tim's Tid-Bits.